Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Your Excellencies. It's absolutely a delight to have you with us. I would like to make sure, Mr. President, very welcome. Mr. Vice President, very welcome. Madam Vice Prime Minister, very welcome. And, of course, our Colonel, very welcome. We are here together for the fourth time, actually, in a row. Third year, fourth time in a row, this time with an exhibition, Your Country First, Win with Us. And different than other years, we have not only Ukrainian artists, but also international artists here. I'll be happy to give you a tour after the exhibition, but first, it's my honor to introduce the founder of the PinchukArtCentre, the Victor Pinchuk Foundation, and the EastOne Group, Mr. Pinchuk.
Yeah, thank you, Björn. Dear friends, thank you very much. This morning you are here with us. We want to present to you our project, Your Country First, Win with Us. Not everybody likes these words, Your Country First, because somebody thinks it's about isolationism. I disagree. I like this Your Country First, and this is absolutely not about isolationism, because it's an obligation of any heads of state. For example, American president must put interest of his country first, and Polish president must put interest of his country first, and Lithuanian prime minister must put interest of his country first, and etc., etc., etc. And I will say even more and stronger, I love America first, and Poland first, Lithuania first, etc., etc., because if your national interest first, it means in the end that Ukraine must win, because America first means that on the top of priorities of the United States is national security. And that means that America cannot allow our crazy enemy to win in Ukraine. And you cannot allow to win our crazy enemy in Ukraine. And somebody thinks we support Ukraine for too long. This is your fight for independence. Yes, this is our fight for independence, but there is big but. You have to fight here for your national interest. And this is our message of this exhibition of 2025. In previous 3 years, 22, 23, 24, we tried to get under the skin of decision makers with a message that you have, with a message of compassion to brave Ukrainians. We tried to show here Russian war crimes, the suffering of Ukrainians. And it was our message, because we understood, and it worked, we understood if Western decision makers will see this, they will supply more weapons and quicker. And it worked, but it almost doesn't work now. Because people in the West very often think, no, we already have helped Ukrainians a lot. Of course, we're together with Ukrainians. It's shame that brave Ukrainians suffer so much, but we have our problems. And that's why we organize this exhibition, to show this is in your deepest interest, in your deepest national interest to fight. You cannot allow our crazy enemy to win. Here, you see, of course, many people, thank you. It's not easy to see, but this is, as example, this piece of Belgian artist, David Clarebot. And he wanted to show beautiful Western world and how it's easy to destroy this beautiful Western world if you will not fight. It's very easy and very fast. And if you will not fight for your interest in Ukraine. And here, this is very powerful piece by Ukrainian artist Alexei Sai. This one word, this sculpture, one word, Volia, and Ukrainian, yes, by the way, he took these letters from the city name of small Ukrainian city on the front line. You can see, and this word Volia means in Ukrainian freedom and will at the same time. It means if you want to protect and save your freedom, you have to have will. Please have a will to win with Ukraine. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pinchuk. And now I would like to introduce you to the first Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Economy of Ukraine, Minister Svyrydenko. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, dear President, dear guests, dear all. Thank you for being with us. I think everybody knows that leitmotif of this Davos Forum is collaboration for the intelligent aid. But I would add a small addition to this motto, and I would say that collaboration in age of transformation of the global order. For the first time since World War II, we see the world in such turbulence, and the storm rocking this boat is Russia. Following the butterfly effect principle, the Russia started in Ukraine affects not only peace in our country, but peace in your country as well. A simple example is unprecedented growth in global wheat price in the beginning of large-scale invasion. But we have also a fresh example from the last year covered by Bloomberg, when Russia attacks Ukrainian underground gas storages, and it has influence on the prices in Europe. Every strike Russia targets on Ukraine, it's a strike on a global economy. And if we want to have a global economy to be stable, we must stop Russia. There is no other way for us, because as long as stability is absent is Ukraine, it would obviously will be absent in Europe and globally. This exhibition, Your Country First, Win With Us, reflects its reality. It challenges us to see Ukrainian story as a part of a shared global narrative, and to consider how our future are connected in ways we may not always realize. The exhibition also reminds me pain. I remember the last Davos and Ukrainian house, and it was covered with videos of Ukrainians, of their civil life. And one of the video that was very emotional for me, it was the video of a 25-year paramedic. Her name was Irina Tsibuch. And her video was among the others on the wall here in Ukrainian house. And a few months later, Irina died serving her country 1 month just before her 26-year university. And Irina left behind a posthumous letter. And in this letter, there is very strong, for me, heartbreaking dedication to freedom I could ever read. So freedom is the highest value, she said. But to have the strength to be free, we must be brave. For me, it's not just a message for us, for Ukrainians. It's a message for the global society. And to let us brave, it means to have will. You're absolutely right. The word freedom and volia, so svoboda and volia, Ukrainian, it's actually one word not going without another one. And to stop this war, we need to have will. Will for lasting peace, will to strengthen sanctuary policy, will to mutual support, will to provide us with weapons, will to invest in Ukraine and strengthen our economy, and will to make the right choice that can build a stronger, more united and more resilient world. So thank you for walking this path with us. And I think that together we can reach more, and Slava Ukraini.
Thank you very much. And now I would like to introduce the President of the Republic of Poland, President Duda.
Drodzy przyjaciele, szanowny panie prezydencie, szanowni państwo premierzy, szanowny panie prezesie drodzy przybyli goście, drodzy ukraińscy przyjaciele, drodzy gospodarze.
Dear friends, respected Mr. President, respectful Prime Ministers, Mr. CEO, dear guests, dear Ukrainian friends.
Bardzo dziękuję za zaproszenie po raz kolejny tutaj na to ukraińskie spotkanie, które dla mnie rozpoczyna tegoroczne Światowe Forum Ekonomiczne w Davos.
Thank you very much for extending this invitation to me. This is once again an opportunity to visit you here, and to me, this is a start of this World Economic Forum in Davos.
Dla mnie to z jednej strony zaszczyt i przyjemność to, że mogę być z wami dzisiaj tu, w tym ukraińskim miejscu w Davos.
To me, on the one hand, this is an honor and a pleasure to be able to be here with you today in this Ukrainian place in Davos.
Ale z drugiej strony to ogromny żal i ból, że ta wojna jeszcze się nie zakończyła i że rosyjskie wojska cały czas atakują Ukrainę.
But on the other hand, I'm deeply regretful and I feel a huge pain because this war has still not come to an end and Russian troops are still attacking Ukrainian cities.
Ból z powodu okupacji, jaką przeżywają moi ukraińscy sąsiedzi, ból z powodu cierpienia, które przeżywają, kiedy giną ich najbliżsi, kiedy zostają ranni, kiedy burzone są ich domy, kiedy zabierane jest ich życie.
There is a pain that I feel when I look at the occupation of my neighbors and their land. Also, I feel pain when I look at the suffering when their loved ones perish, when their houses are destroyed, when their lives are taken away.
Wiem jedno, tak jak i wy wszyscy. Wszyscy chcemy, żeby ta rosyjska agresja na Ukrainę zakończyła się jak najszybciej, żeby została zatrzymana.
And I know one thing, just like all of us know one thing. All of us want that this Russian aggression against Ukraine ends as soon as possible, that it is stopped as soon as possible.
Ale nikt z nas, którzy patrzymy na to odpowiedzialnie, nie może myśleć, że to obojętne w jaki sposób ta wojna się zakończy.
However, nobody of us who looks in a responsible way at the situation right now can stay indifferent. Nobody can stay indifferent to how this war will come to an end.
Tak, to spotkanie jest pod hasłem Twój kraj pierwszy, Twój kraj najważniejszy.
Yes, the motto of this meeting is your country first. Your country is the most important.
I to prawda, że dla prezydenta Ukrainy najważniejsza jest Ukraina, to oczywiste. Dla prezydenta Polski najważniejsza jest Polska. Dla prezydentów innych krajów najważniejsze są ich państwa, bo po to zostali wybrani przez swoich współobywateli, przez swoich wyborców, żeby reprezentowali ich interesy i żeby one były dla nich najważniejsze.
Yes, indeed, it is true, and it is quite obvious that to the president of Ukraine, it is Ukraine which is the most important. To the president of Poland, it is Poland which is the most significant. And to the presidents of other countries, it is their respective states which are the most important. Because that is the reason why they were elected by their compatriots, by their voters, to represent the interests of their individual countries in the first place.
Ale właśnie z tego powodu, że wszyscy reprezentujemy interesy swoich krajów, a z całą pewnością w naszym ogólnym interesie jest to, aby nigdy nie pozwolić na agresję na nasze państwa. Ta wojna nie może się zakończyć obojętnie jak.
And the reason is obvious, because all of us represent our own interests. And exactly because all of us represent our individual interest, it is in the interest of all of us, it is our general interest to never let another aggression happen. And that is why it is not indifferent how this war comes to an end.
I dlatego powiem wam jedno, z punktu widzenia mojego kraju, Polski, tak jak ja widzę jej interes, sprawą oczywistą jest, że ta wojna nie może się zakończyć zwycięstwem Rosji.
And I'm going to tell you one thing, which is Poland's point of view. It is in the interest of our country, but also in the interest of others. It is quite obvious that this war must not end with a victory of Russia.
Nie może się zakończyć zwycięstwem agresora, nie może się zakończyć zwycięstwem tego, kto napadł, nie może się zakończyć zwycięstwem tego, kto realizuje swoje imperialne ambicje. On musi ponieść porażkę.
It must not end with the victory of an aggressor. It must not end with a victory of an invader. It must not win with a victory of the one who is realizing their own imperialist interests. And that is why this war must finish with a failure of that invader.
I żebyśmy się dobrze zrozumieli, ta porażka będzie polegała na skarceniu jego imperialnych ambicji.
And to make things absolutely clear, that defeat of the invader will consist in telling off the imperial ambitions of the aggressor.
Na tym, że zostaną one zatrzymane i nie zostaną zaspokojone.
The thing is that those imperial ambitions are stopped and they are not satisfied.
Dla mnie to będzie oznaczało istnienie i odbudowę niepodległej, suwerennej Ukrainy w jej międzynarodowo uznanych granicach.
And to me, that is going to mean the rebuilding of a sovereign, independent Ukraine, the existence of a sovereign and independent Ukraine in its internationally recognized borders.
I wierzę w to głęboko, że wy myślicie tak samo.
And I firmly believe that you think the same.
Tak? I płacicie za to straszliwą cenę w postaci tego symbolicznego obrazu tutaj przestrzelonych liter, które stanowiły element nazwy miasta zniszczonego w czasie wojny.
And you are paying a horrible price for that. And what we can see here behind our backs is the symbol of that price. We can see here a symbol with letters shot, with letters which represented the name of a city.
Ale przybyłem tutaj zarazem z radością do tego ukraińskiego miejsca w Davos.
But at the same time, I have arrived here with joy to this Ukrainian place in Davos.
Bo choć jest ono widomym symbolem cierpienia Ukrainy,
Because although it is a visible symbol of the suffering of Ukraine,
to jest ono zarazem symbolem tego, że Ukraina cały czas istnieje, walczy i skutecznie się broni.
at the same time, it is the symbol of the fact that Ukraine still exists, that it is fighting, and that it is defending itself in an efficient way.
Przypomnę wam, że kiedy wojna się rozpoczynała, to na świecie mówiono, że potrwa ona może 3 dni.
Let me remind you that when this war started, we heard voices in the world which were saying that it would last perhaps 3 days.
Że w tym czasie rosyjskie wojska opanują Kijów i Ukraina znajdzie się w ich rękach.
That within the period of 3 days, Russian troops would conquer Kiev and that Ukraine will be in the hands of Russians.
Wkrótce miną 3 lata, a Ukraina broni się nadal.
Soon it will be 3 years and Ukraine is still defending itself.
A naszym obowiązkiem jest i w interesie naszych krajów jest, by Ukraina się obroniła skutecznie.
And it is our duty and it lies in the interest of our countries to make sure that Ukraine defends itself efficiently.
I wszyscy ci, którzy są uczciwi i chcą porządku i spokoju na świecie, muszą Ukrainie pomóc w tym, aby zdołała to zrealizować.
And all of those who are honest and who want to have order and peace in the world have to help Ukraine to make this happen.
To dlatego właśnie tutaj jesteśmy razem z panem premierem jako wasi sąsiedzi i przyjaciele po to, żeby powiedzieć tak, jesteśmy z wami i nie opuścimy was.
And that is why we are here with you, together with the Prime Minister, together with our friends, to tell you that yes, we stand with you and we are not going to leave you alone.
I niezależnie od różnych wichrów, ja działając w interesie mojego kraju Polski, powtarzam to cały czas od 3 lat, od 23 lutego 2022 roku, kiedy kilka godzin przed rozpoczęciem rosyjskiej agresji mówiłem to Wołodymyrowi Zełenskiemu.
And despite of all the turbulences that we have gone through, I keep repeating the same thing all the time. It is in the interest of Poland. And I've been repeating that for 3 years almost right now, since the 23rd of February 2022, when I said exactly the same words to Volodymyr Zelensky.
Nie opuścimy was i uczynimy wszystko, aby niepodległa, suwerenna Ukraina trwała i była częścią wolnego świata.
No, we are not going to leave you alone, and we are going to go to all strides and do everything to make sure that an independent and sovereign Ukraine exists and that it is a part of the free world.
Niech Pan Bóg ma w swojej opiece mój kraj Polskę, niech Pan Bóg ma w swojej opiece Ukrainę.
May God bless my country, Poland. May God bless Ukraine.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Now it's my honor to introduce the Prime Minister of Lithuania, Prime Minister Paluckas.
Your Excellencies, Ukrainian friends, distinguished guests, it's a great honor to join all of you here today at the Ukrainian House in Davos for the opening of the exhibition, Your Country First, Win With Us. On 24th of February, we will mark the 3rd anniversary of Russia's brutal war in Ukraine. We count these days of this bloody conflict with deep pain, knowing that each passing day brings more suffering to the Ukrainian people, lives lost, loved ones taken, homes destroyed, and constant fear as they anxiously await the next wail of warning sirens and the need to seek shelter. Many Ukrainians have been forced to flee their homes and leave everything familiar behind to survive. All of this because of imperialist ambitions, the greed of Russian dictators, and their belief that they stand above us all, above the law, democracy, and basic human decency. The first official visit of new Lithuanian government was to Ukraine. We have made it clear that we stand with Ukraine and will support its resistance with all our strength. We will remain steadfast in our support until Ukraine's victory and beyond. We will actively work toward Ukraine's rapid integration into NATO and European Union. The strength of Europe and its allies lies in unity and the awareness that together we are strongest. Only by speaking with one voice can we defend ourselves and secure our future. Ukraine is not only fighting for its country, its people, and its national identity, it is fighting for all of us, for the entire democratic free world founded on the rule of law and respect for fundamental human rights. In these times of geopolitical turbulence, we must recognize that the promise of never again is not merely words, but a solemn commitment. Now is the time to demonstrate that we not only make promises, but also act responsibly to fulfill them. Equally, we must do everything in our power to ensure that future generations live in a free world, one where they have the right to create, to grow as individuals, and to live without fear or isolation. Thank you to all the soldiers who are defending Ukraine and all of us, risking their lives on the front lines. Thank you everyone actively supporting Ukraine, sending donations and contributing to its victory. Thank you to those spreading the word about why this war in Ukraine is so critical and consequential for the future of us all. What kind of a world do we want to live in tomorrow? There is no alternative but the victory of Ukraine and all of us. Together we will win. Slava Ukraini!
Thank you very much. And now, last but certainly not least, I would like to introduce Senior Flight Inspector of the Army Aviation Command of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, Colonel Shliukharchuk. Floor is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, I'm honored stand before you in the heart of the Davos at the Ukrainian house. I speak behind their soldiers and Ukrainian citizens who are not only defending our sovereignty, but also fight for their shared freedom and security. As a pilot, as a peacekeeper, I participated in many conflicts. Liberia, Sierra Leone, Democratic Republic of Congo, Mali, Sudan. But there was nothing compared to their technological warfare unfolding in the Ukraine today. My motherland become as a fire range for testing cutting-edge technology like precision weapons, drones, sophisticated communication system, cybersecurity solutions. This all provides from our partners. But technology alone could not bring us to the victory. Moreover, delay in the delivery process cost the lives. It extend their war in the Europe. By the way, do you know what their what at their heart is part of the pilot's preparation. It is the teaching them to make a right decision in the right place, in the right time. This decision contains three main parts. First, it is prepared procedure for uncertain situation. It is quick reaction, and it is their experience to correctly assess the critical situation. However, the result, the success in the air, not depends solely on the pilot. It's rely to their vast system that interconnected some measures, like ground crew, like intelligence, even weather, their communications, and so on. And the success, the outcomes, the good outcomes of the results depends on the success of each element within this system. Today we find us in this situation. Today the war in Ukraine requires collective action. Each ally contribute significant, important things to the victory. Together we are unity. Our strength in the unity, and our strength bring us to the better world, to the future generation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Colonel. Thank you very much.